been a crazy whirlwind of emotions. It's the first time I've ever been traded, so this is all new for me, and it was definitely a crazy experience, but I'm excited to be here. This is going to be a good opportunity.
How did you find out? Kind of what was the situation when you got that call?
So we were actually in the middle of our team fantasy football draft when Jace came down and grabbed me and took me and Luis up to his room, and we called AJ, and he let us know. And so it was definitely a crazy story.
What'd you pick with your first pick?
We just got a chance to see you, Ty, over in the most recent series, a double off of Marco and a double off of, I believe, Yusei Kikuchi. Tell us a little bit about facing those guys, and now they're your teammate.
Yeah, like I said, this is definitely a crazy experience. We just played the Mariners not too long ago, like you said, and to be on one side and then flipping over, it's still hasn't really hit me yet. Met a handful of guys, and thankfully I knew a good amount of guys on this side before coming over here, and so it made the transition a little easier. But looking forward to meshing with this group of guys.
Ty, who are some of the guys you've known from the past on this team?
Sorry?
Who are some of the guys that you've known on the team, and what are those relationships?
I grew up with Tim Lopes. We played, travel ball together growing up, and then, Donnie Walton worked out with him this offseason. JP Crawford played against him growing up too, and Shed Long. A lot of these guys I either played against in Tacoma or just growing up.
Ty, first of all, who did you take with your first pick in that draft, and how do you think it went? And then also, Jerry DiPoto talked about trying to trade for you multiple years. That's got to speak to something that an organization's been trying to get you, and you're going to that organization.
Yeah, honestly, with the fantasy draft, after getting that news, is all kind of a blur. So I don't even really remember how the draft went. Thankfully, I had two other guys on my team helping me out, so they kind of took over for me. And so far, looking at the lineup, we look all right. So, but yeah, I talked to Jerry, and he explained to me the situation and how the last couple of years he has said he's been trying to get me over here, and to feel wanted like that is pretty cool. For him to tell me I'm going to come in and be in the lineup right away and hopefully make an impact, that was huge for me, and definitely helps make the transition easier.
Ty, you played at San Diego State, and you played for one of the greatest hitters of all time. And then last year you hit 399, and you hit like Tony Gwynn at AAA El Paso. What did you learn from Tony? Such a great hitter, great guy.
Yeah, I've told this story many times, and it's still so powerful and meaningful to me. Coming in there as an 18-year-old kid, you look at him and you're like, wow, this is, Tony Gwynn, the best hitter alive. And for me, hitting was my thing. I loved hitting. And so I went in with the expectation that, he was going to make me the next best hitter alive. And when you get there, his philosophy was so simple. It was just get in position, take your best swing. And, it definitely took a while for me to figure out like what he meant by that. And, in the grand scheme of things, he just simplified hitting. And, to this day, I try and carry that with me and, simplify the game as much as I can. And, for the first year, I would keep harping him like, hey, coach, I don't get what you mean. And, as time went on, it finally started to click, and pretty much just to slow the game down and, play the game the right way. And, it's definitely helped get me to this point.
You played a lot of third base. Is in your head, are you a third baseman, or obviously you go wherever you need it, but? Yeah,
for me, third base is home, but over the last couple of years, I've bounced around from first, third, second. I've caught. So I'm definitely most comfortable at third, but I don't really consider, any one position to be like my set position. I've embraced the utility role, and, whatever they need me to do here, I'm more than welcome to do.
With the DH and the NL this year, it obviously got some at bats for guys like you. How much have you learned about playing the DH and that the mindset that kind of goes in with that?
You know, for me, the DH role, I kind of treated it as like a bat off the bench kind of role. You have to find that routine that works for you. And, you know, for me, I last year I'd practiced the bench role and kind of found a routine that worked. So I just used that same routine coming into the DH spot this year. And, you know, I'm thankful that there was a DH role this year. It got me a lot more at bats. And, you know, so for me, it wasn't too much of an adjustment.
Yeah, the Mariners obviously have a younger group. You know, what are kind of your thoughts about joining an organization that's really focused on building towards the future?
For me, it's a good opportunity. Like I said, you know, we kind of went through a little bit of that with the Padres the last year rebuilding, and you know, I was one of those younger guys, and so now to be here, and I kind of have a little bit of an idea what the rebuild process is like, and you know, there's a lot of good young guys here, and I think, you know, there's a lot of good opportunities for everyone here, and you know, we're just looking to get out on the field and run with that.
Ty, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself? Where did you grow up? Was it always baseball? Did you play other sports as well? Brothers, sisters, athletic, mom, dad? Just tell us a little bit about your family.
Okay, yeah. I grew up in West Covina, California. I was like the middle of Angel and Dodger Stadium. Grew up with two sisters, one older, one younger. You know, I started playing baseball when I think I was 2 years old, and kind of just the baseball was always my number one sport. Loved all sports. I played football growing up, played all the way until my junior year of high school. Really loved football, but you know, baseball was just, it's always my first love, and I don't think I would have been big enough to play football. But yeah, kind of that's my little backstory.
Being in the middle there, were you an Angel fan, Dodger fan, and who were some of your favorite players?
I grew up an Angel fan. My aunt, her boss at the time, had season tickets to Angel games. It was around like the 2001, 2002 time, so they were, you know, pretty good back then. And she took me to a lot of the games, and you know, I grew up watching Troy Gloss, Garrett Anderson, you know, David Eckstein, you know, all those guys, and Tim Salmon. So for me, you know, going to the Angel games and her taking me to those games, I think really brought out a love for baseball for me. And you know, seeing those guys in 2002 celebrate a World Series, you know, that really sparked my love for baseball, and you know, I'm very, very grateful for that.
What was your aunt's name?
Donna.
Don, thank you.